The face is still innocent and pretty, but the lash is like, yes. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a get ready with me. So I'm going to show you how I do my day-to-day makeup. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not a makeup artist. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to makeup. I do makeup on myself pretty well, in my opinion, and a lot of people seem to like it, and that is why I'm sharing it, because a lot of you have asked about my quarantine makeup. That said, there are going to be products that I'm using in this video that are going to be used for not their regular purpose. So if you are a makeup artist and you think I'm doing it wrong, you don't have to tell me in the comments. I already know. And if you're not a makeup artist but you're just looking to have a pretty face of makeup on, then I hope that I can help you. I am not using like my nice products that I typically use when I do my makeup. This has been my quarantine look. I'm using mostly drugstore or lower end makeup because I haven't really been going out that much since we've been in lockdown for the last several months, and I didn't really want to use like my nice stuff. So I love this look because it's pretty affordable. Anybody can recreate it or do something very similar. I do have on a face full of makeup, but I don't consider this like full glam, but I do have on a lash, like a subtle glam. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and we're gonna have a heart-to-heart about how I've been feeling lately and what's been going on. Okay, so one of the reasons why I do not like filming makeup videos in this house, although it doesn't seem to be a problem today, is our lighting. Hopefully the lighting we have now remains because it actually doesn't look that bad. Before you do anything, moisturize your face and put on a primer. I don't have a primer here, so I'm not using one today, but I use one typically when I'm trying to look nice. The first product is this LA Girl Pro Conceal. It's a color corrector. And the reason why I'm using a color corrector is because when I was pregnant, Margot mutilated my face. I somehow developed melasma, or like a pregnancy mask. And honestly, I look like I have a beard half the time. So I'm just gonna kind of put this where things aren't quite the right complexion. I also put it under my eyes because it conceals my bags. They make color correctors in different colors, and they make them like that so that every skin tone can color correct if needed. This is one of my lazy girl tricks for concealer, because this is what I'm using to conceal in general instead of an actual concealer after I apply this. So I'm adding a little bit more than one probably would with a color corrector. And then the next thing we do after we have applied the color corrector to our face is like buff it in. I don't really spread it. I kind of just press it into my face so that it doesn't move. All I do is just press it in so that it's not just caked up, but I don't like spread it like I would my foundation. So the foundation I'm using today is Tarte Amazonian Clay, and this is a full coverage foundation, and it has SPF 15. My color is Rich Honey. They do make every color out there, so if you are lighter or darker, they have one just for you. I'm going to squeeze the last little bit of life out of this one, and then hopefully I don't have to open my new one, but if I do, I will. And the brush I'm using is a Eco Tools brush. It just says complexion buffer, but this is what I use to put my foundation on in the mornings. And then what I do is just kind of like put it in different places. So really quickly, guys, I know that this is the first video I've posted in a while. Obviously, you guys know what's been going on in the world in the social justice aspect, not with the pandemic, and it has just taken a huge toll on me as a Black woman, as a mom, as just a human being in general, as it probably has with most of you who are on the right side of history. And I have not been silent about it over on my Instagram, but it occurred to me that not all of you follow me over on Instagram, and that it could appear that I'm being silent to the movement, and I don't want to come off that way because I'm not. So I thought we could have a quick discussion on the topic of race and what we can do as moms, if you're a mom or just a human, to make sure that this world isn't a bad place for our children to continue to grow up. And what's crazy is I'm sure that my grandmother, who was not a young person by the time I was born, probably thought that this wouldn't be an issue when her grandchildren and great-grandchildren were old, but unfortunately it's 2020 and here we are. I've never discussed race on my channel. You guys know I have friends of all races, and I was raised to never care what race anyone was. Unfortunately, that is not the world that we live in, and racism is learned and it's being taught to our young children, who then grow up to become racist adults, and this is how we end up where we are. Okay, the next one I'm using is another LA Girls Pro Conceal conceal, but I'm using this one to highlight. So it'll go here, under the eyes, my nose, my forehead. LA Girl was not a brand that I really ever used. I think I was in Ulta one day and I was looking for a color corrector and I didn't want to pay a lot of money for it when I wasn't sure how it was going to work. So that's how I ended up with the one I was just using. And then I'm not sure how I ended up with this one. I typically use a Tarte concealer for this. Like I said, during the quarantine, I really didn't want to use my good makeup for just sitting around at home, and then I ended up with this look and I happen to really like it. Again, racism isn't something that I've really discussed on my channel, and I don't think I'm going to like just have continued discussions about racism, but I do want to address what's been going on because it's just been horrific. Honestly, the fear that I have as a Black woman with a Black husband and Black children who will grow up in this world as it is now is a real thing. Like, I'm very terrified. When Brendan goes out of town and he's walking down the street and we're FaceTiming, I'm like, why are you walking? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to the gym. I'm always like, can't you just work out at the hotel gym? Because you just don't know. You could be, you know, jogging down the street and get killed. Or, you know, you may get stopped and come in contact with a police officer with not great intentions toward the Black community. I'm gonna blend this in with a Real Technique 200 brush, and I kind of also just pat this in to the area that it's been applied to. But yeah, I've always just kind of been fearful, and I've never really discussed that with you guys. It's beyond just the, you know, hopefully your husband makes it back from his business trip safe. It's more than that for me. And to now have children and experience this kind of fear is like another level. I can't imagine what these moms who are losing their babies to racist hate crimes and violence are feeling. And I know that my audience here on this channel is not 50-50. I think I actually have more white people watching my channel than Black people. And that's awesome in a time like this, because that means you guys don't care that I'm Black, because I've never tried to hide that. And it shows that you guys see me for the person that I am. It's unfortunate that there aren't many Black creators in our niche who do mommy content. They're just not, and I wish there were, because I do have a whole other portion of viewers who watch me and tell me, gosh, I love your channel, I can so relate, because there aren't many other people who look like us. I just want to encourage everyone, and this isn't a plug, but like, share my channel with your friends, especially to my viewers who are people of color, because we need more faces like ours. But to my non-people of color viewers who watch me regularly, and I know you're out there because I talk to y'all all the time, thank you. Now is the best time to not live in fear of what people will think if you support this movement that is going on right now. A lot of people hear Black Lives Matter and get really scared to say that, but it's not a racist thing to say that. What Black Lives Matter just means is Black Lives Matter too. And all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter too. And one of the best ways I've heard to explain what that means to people who may not understand or who feel offended when they hear that is, if your house is on fire and your neighbor stops the fire department from putting it out by saying, hey, can you check my house first because all houses matter? And the fire department says, yeah, all houses matter, but this house right here is the one that needs help right now. So we're gonna go deal with that, because all houses can't matter until we put this fire out and make it safe for everyone. And that is just basically what Black Lives Matter is. We need to put the fire out where it's at, which is the Black community. So I'm sure at this point you guys have heard several different analogies and ways to explain that, and I'm hoping that, you know, you understand. All right, so the next product, now that we have that all blended, is this NYX HD Finishing Banana Powder. If you're my complexion, really any yellow based like powder could work. I have this Sasha Buttercup setting powder, got like a yellow hint to it. If you are lighter than me, any translucent powder will work, but honestly, even if you are my complexion, translucent powder will work as well, because it's translucent. It just adds that lighter look under the eyes to the concealer that you've added. So if you are lighter than me and trying to, you know, achieve the same look, get a concealer that's much lighter than your skin tone when you do this part. That's why this clearly does not look like the rest of my skin, but that's like the whole point. I will do another makeup routine probably in the new house where it's easier for everyone of all the different complexions to follow along, only because you'll just use the same products just in your own shade. But with this one, it's a little bit different because as you'll see, I'm using products that don't necessarily go in the right place. So like I said, we are using the HD finishing powder. The reason why I am not holding up the banana one is because I shattered it. So usually it looks just like this. It comes in, you know, and sits in the tray like this. Mine looks like a mineral powder, like Bare Minerals, because it broke. We're just going to take that powder. Like I said, any translucent powder will work, but I'm using the banana one by NYX. But anyway, to my non-black subscribers who may be watching this, I am going to assume that you are not racist if you're watching me because you wouldn't like me. But what I've learned in the last several weeks, and I think that many of us have learned, is knowing in your heart that you're not a racist person, and this goes for everyone, is not enough anymore. We have to actively be anti-racist. That goes for me when it comes to other races, but especially to everyone else when it comes to the Black community, because this is just where we are right now. Being actively anti-racist is stopping your friends or your family members when you're at the dinner table, like with, you know, at Thanksgiving or something, from making comments that are inappropriate about other races. Stopping it would be being anti-racist and not allowing those things to slip by, and maybe even saying, until you can clean your act up, you can't come back into my home. That is what we need to be teaching our children, that when you hear your friends saying things about another race that are not good, don't just stay silent. Silence that person. That is where I think that a real difference and change can be made as far as trying to make this world a better place for our babies. All right, so now comes the tricky part, or the lazy girls part. If you're my complexion, you can do what I'm doing. If you're not, I'll tell you what you can do as far as other products are concerned. The first thing we're gonna do is contour. I'm using a powder contour because I have a face full of powder on right now, and I don't want to cream contour over powder. We're at the part where I get a little insecure about doing makeup tutorials on my channel because I use products in the wrong way to achieve my makeup looks, and I just like how they look. I've never bought a contour palette before. I just use eyeshadow. During the Sephora sale, I picked this Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows palette in 1 True Neutrals is the color. We're gonna use the shade Affogato for the contour. If you don't wanna use eyeshadow on your face, get a powder contour if you wanna achieve this look. So I do that here, here, down the sides of my nose, around my hairline, and under here. So some things that we can do to teach our children is, instead of just saying like, oh, love everyone, which we all should be doing, is we should be exposing them to other races. And this goes for me as well. Show books and TV shows and toys and things that let our children know that we can care about and love people and races that don't look just like us. That's a way to teach your child without having to sit them down and have a hard conversation about, you know, race, and how am I gonna explain to my 5-year-old about racism and stuff like that. You don't have to do that right now. Just show them that it's okay to love a little brown baby doll. All right, so now I'm gonna go down my nose. There are so many other things that people can use for this. A lot of people use cream contour. I have before, but it's just not how I've been doing it lately. With the contour or the concealer, I always put it on this side and leave this little, I think, what is it called, a Cupid's bow open, so you can see the little dot there. But then I like to take a little bit of that brown and just add it right in the center to make that look a little bit more defined. And then I just kind of go back over and lightly brush that, and that really makes the nose more contoured and less whatever you want it to look like if you're contouring your nose. So then from the same palette, the next thing we're gonna do is use the shade Come and Get It. And it is not spelled the regular way, if you know what I'm saying. What I'm about to do, if you are a lighter complexion than I am, is put this shade in the place of a bronzer. So if you have a bronzer and you wanna kind of do this look, use that now. And if you are around my complexion, you can do this if you want to. We're going to just put that right above the contour that you just added and take it up the side of the face. Now, I did not make this up. I was actually on Instagram and I just happened to see a girl with a whole makeup palette, and she took the orange eyeshadow and put it on her face, and I thought, oh my gosh, you look great. So I thought, let me try that, because I never really used a bronzer before. But I just take this, put it around the hairline to kind of frame my face, around the tops of my cheekbones. But yeah, when I saw her do that, I thought, how genius, because you're still getting that same effect, but bronzer is not always made for every complexion. And now, you know, you can still get the life back into your face after you've literally just washed it out with all of these other lighter powders and concealers. All right, so then the next thing I do, just to calm all this down, is take my powder foundation from MAC. This is Studio Fix. The color is NW45. And I just take this and dust it over my whole face, over the lighter parts too, to make them a little bit more natural looking and not like bright. All right, so the next thing we're gonna use is this blush. I am from the South and we love our blush. This is Becca and the color is Nightingale, and I just kind of pop that on there below because I don't want to look super pink, and I just kind of rub that right on the apples of my cheeks. I love blush. I know it's not for everyone, and if you grew up in the South, I'm sure you remember those elementary school teachers who were like, you know, with the blush. We're gonna move on to brows. Again, not a makeup artist. I think most makeup artists will tell you to do your brows first, but that's not who I am. Also, I'm not using any concealer to make them blend in better. I also don't use a eyebrow pencil. I use eyeshadow yet again. I usually use black, but I'm out. And so the closest thing that I've had lately, because I'm not buying makeup right now while we're just staying at home, is from the Chocolate Bar palette from Too Faced. And where you're gonna use Triple Fudge, which is this dark color right here in the top. What you wanna do is brush your eyebrows up. I can't seem to find my spoolies, so I'm not brushing them today, but you will want to brush all your eyebrows up and try to keep them together. I have actually been taking quarantine to grow my eyebrows out so that when I am brave enough to sit underneath someone and let them thread them, that I look like a goddess when she's done. And what I do is just basically take this little angle brush from MAC, and I just kind of frame the outside of my brow underneath, and then halfway across the top I do the same thing. Like I said, my brows are like super grown in, so it's not gonna look as precise as you may want, which is why I have to do it this way. And then, you know, do the same thing on this side. But back to the topic of race, this is not meant to be like a really deep conversation. I'm going to put links in my description box on how, if you want to donate or how you can help or how you can educate your kids or anything. I'll put all of that in my description box to just make it easier for you to find. And but as far as just trying to move this country in the right direction, it's important to get out and vote when the times come, because starting from our government all the way down to our local government, maybe some of the biggest changes that we can make, and really just diversifying every portion of your life. So your friend group, your kids' friend groups, the shows that you support, the stores and the brands that you shop from, everything. Because there's a huge issue in our country with racism, and I'm sure a lot of us, myself included, live in a bubble where that just doesn't seem to be our world, but it very much is, and it's scary, and we really need to do what we can to fix it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to use on my brows is just this Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow gel. If you brushed your eyebrows up already, this will kind of just keep them in place. I like really thick eyebrows. I think it's beautiful. Girls, do not tweeze and pluck and wax and thread your eyebrows down really tiny and small. It's not cute. So the next thing we're gonna do is just a little bit of eyeshadow. I really don't even like eyeshadow that much, to be completely honest. We'll do just a little bit. We'll go back in with this Rihanna palette. You honestly, with this step, can do any eyeshadow that you like to use on your day-to-day. You don't have to do exactly what I do, and honestly, I really don't even apply eyeshadow correctly. This is just what I do. But if you know how to apply eyeshadow better than this, maybe that's what you probably should do. What I like about this makeup look that I've been doing lately is like a subtle glam. It's not like, whoa, she's overdone getting groceries today. It's just like, oh wow, it's really pretty. And that's what we want. We just want to be pretty, y'all. Just to be pretty. The next thing we're gonna do is eyeliner. I really like liquid eyeliner. I think it's just a more precise line, but we don't have that. So we're gonna use this MAC eyeliner. Also, I don't think you're supposed to pull your eyelid out to the side when you apply eyeshadow. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, so the next step, lashes and mascara. This is what I do. I curl my lashes and put on one layer of mascara, because we are gonna put lashes on. You don't really need a lot of mascara on your own eyes, in my opinion. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is, like I said, this is just what I do. So I curl mine, and then I use this eyelash primer. This one is by Chanel, and today we're gonna be using the cheap yet always dependable Maybelline Great Lash. I do have my Better Than Sex by Too Faced one that I love, but since we're kind of trying to stay in the vein of drugstore, affordable, don't use your good makeup while we're just at home makeup, we're gonna use this one today. So now that the lashes are done, we're gonna put the falsies on. Today we're gonna be using my lashes from Red Aspen. It's the same company I get these nails from. They were sent to me and I loved them, so that's what we're gonna do. So when you're putting lashes on, hold it this way, and that's the eye that you put them on. I use my fingers. I don't use like a little applicator or anything. On Instagram, I saw a meme that says girls who do that are psycho. So I guess I'm a psycho. And look, there we go. So sadness, glam. Sadness, glam. Is like, the face is still innocent and pretty, but the lash is like, yes. And then we just do the same thing on the other side. We can move on to lips now. Back on the topic of race, and then that's just gonna be where I leave it. We've just gotta do better, all of us. I'm even guilty of living in a bubble. I've never really experienced racism in my entire life. On a day-to-day basis, and even growing up, I didn't really see it. When I did see it, I don't think I always did what I was supposed to combat it either. And I think I would be stupid or ignorant to believe that my kids would have the same exact upbringing that I did, where they just happened to not come in contact with it, and then not teach them how to respond or teach them, you know, what to do in those situations. And so I just think as parents, we just need to do better. We're gonna do lips. So I just purchased this Charlotte Tilbury lip pencil. It is called Lip Cheat Pillow Talk 3. I believe there's 3 different shades of Pillow Talk. There's one for like lighter skin, medium skin, and darker skin. This is the one that I use. But I don't want to use this one because it's new and it's too nice. So we're gonna use MAC, and the color is Chestnut. This is like my go-to. I also like Soar. This obviously is not gonna work for everyone because of the shade. So just use whatever shade lip liner you want to. And then I do 3 lines just like that. I am going to use my Charlotte Tilbury lipstick today, and it is called Pillow Talk 2 in medium. Just gonna apply that to the center. Lately I've been rocking the matte lips look because I am completely out of like pretty glosses. NYX makes amazing butter glosses and they look gorgeous over whatever lipstick you're wearing that day. And then I like to add a little bit of Antique Velvet by MAC. This is not going to be for everyone. It's very dark. Right here, and kind of just push it out like that. And then the last thing I use is this NYX lingerie. I bought this, I think, when I bought those like LA Girl ones. And I just apply a little bit of this. It is a mattifying one, so you don't want to use too much. And I just put a little like so. When it dries, I like to go back over it with the lip pencil and just define the line just a little bit more. And then, because I'm extra, y'all may think I'm insane, I like to draw moles on my face when I'm feeling myself. If I have a mole on my face, then that means I really thought I looked cute that day. So what I like to do is just take the very tip of my mascara, and then I like to place a mole right next to my eye. And then I like to do a beauty one right here. Don't do it in the crease. And then one down here. The final step is to add your setting spray. So this setting spray is my NYX matte finish. This is really on brand for the video that we're making today with products that don't cost that much but really do a good job. So there you go. All right. And that is pretty much my makeup look. I love that it feels glam, but it's very like still like a downplayed glam. This is just what I do, and I get compliments on my makeup, so I hope that if you do this makeup look that the same thing happens for you, because we are women, we love compliments and accept them when you get them. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you check all the information I have down in my description box on how you can help, how you can educate your children, and how you can just be a better human being in general. We are all in this together, and the only way that there will be change is if we join together and stand up for people who look like me, Black people. We need everyone right now. now. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I promise not all the subject matter on my channel is this heavy, but I hope that you enjoyed talking about it while I did my makeup, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.